So I'm getting ready to go see my mom and do an interview with her. There's a lot about my mom's story that has inspired me. Actually, sometimes when I think about it, it brings me to tears. And I know that it can be a blessing to you when you hear it.
I cannot finish this without talking about the fact that my mom is very strict. If I don't say it, I would not have done a good interview. My mom did not know that this was going to happen. I didn't give her a heads up that I wanted to interview her. But at different times, I find myself thinking about God's faithfulness and God's faithfulness in her life. And when I've had a chance to really think about it, like, it's just mind-blowing. Mommy, how God kept you from childbirth to getting you to Orago and to protecting you and preserving you up until now. I think there are many things that happen that are just a miracle. What do you think?
Oh, yes. Thank Him. If it were not Him, nobody will remember me.
Yes. I think about how God made it possible for the missionaries to come to Urago at that time when you were born. And then He also made it possible that your dad heard about it. Because what if he didn't hear about it? And I'm sure you were not the only child that was born in Ishakpa then who had lost their mom.
It was my uncle. He was living in Ilofa.
In Ilofa.
In Ilofa before.
And Ilofa is in Kwara State.
Kwara State.
Nigeria.
And Ekiti.
Ekiti.
Kwara State.
Okay.
So he was the one. When he had that, my mother died. Because my mother and him, they were brothers.
Brother and sister.
Brother and sister. So, yeah.
I thought it was your dad's brother.
No, not my dad's. My mom's senior brother was the one who sent to my dad to tell him that he should take me to Uruago.
So was it like your mom died right after you were born, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So my sister is here. So that's my sister. So we're six children. She's the eldest. She's 16 years older than me. So I'm like baby. And I'm the youngest. And this is our wonderful mama. Your mom died while you were born. And then your uncle told your dad about the orphanage
in
Orago. So they trekked to Orago to go and drop you off at the orphanage.
A newborn baby that had not been breastfed. So how the Lord kept you and protected you through that journey. And I don't know how many miles that trip is, but let's just conservatively say it took a whole day, right?
No.
It wouldn't be up to a whole day?
How many hours then?
I've never walked it. But I know the places. You go from Ishakpa, go to, I've forgotten the name. When you are going to Okoloke, but you are not going to go to Okoleke, the village before you get to Oyatedu. So from Oyatedu, you go to Rango.
We thank God for protecting you though, and your dad, and your uncle. So God made sure that there was a provision. Is what I'm saying, that there was a provision where they could take care of you, and the kind of care they gave for you. I know that's something that you love to talk about, like the milk that you. You're fond of the milk part.
Ọmọ màlúù náà pè wá.
Ọmọ màlúù. Malu is cow. So that means they gave you a lot of cow milk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it dry or was it
Dry? Who will dry it?
No, that's
the
a lot of processing.
The Fulanis will make the cow and bring it to us.
And then you drink it fresh.
Fresh.
God made provisions.
Oh yeah.
Made sure that you were fed, you were clothed, and then you also had good education, right?
Oh yeah.
So the missionaries are from what country?
When I was there, from Canada,
Right.
America, North Dakota,
Right.
and the missionaries come from. They are British missionaries too, at the orphanage. I can't remember their names anymore, but Ebonyibo, Auntie Wura, Auntie Oredu,
Right.
were the missionaries that are basically in charge of the orphanage, especially Iya and Wura. Oyinbo.
So these people that she's mentioning are people that you said are from America and Canada. And these people, when they came to Nigeria, they were in their 20s.
Iya was in the 20s. 23 years they said she was. She just finished
University?
No, Iya didn't go to the university. High school. And she heard about the orphanage. And I think she went for mission or something.
some training?
Training for 2 years. And then she came.
Well, that's shout out to all the missionaries all over the world. And some people start very young and like they just have their eyes set on this is how they want to use their lives and to serve the Lord in rural areas. Mama never got married. I call her Mama because when I grew up as a young child, I knew her as my grandma. I was okay, she's white. How is a white person my grandma? So then, of course, I was told the story that she adopted my mom. She was in charge of the orphanage, but the bond was strong because you lived in her house from when you were an infant. So they didn't keep you with the other orphans.
No, those missionaries at that time, they bring the orphan and then they look at them. When one is attracted to them, then they will choose. I want this.
So Iya chose you.
So Mama Dick, or Iya as we call her, chose mommy.
But I wasn't the only one living with Iya that time. The others, they died.
Yeah, they finished their journeys here on earth.
Yeah.
So we thank God that you were favored. That's favor.
Oh yeah.
That's God's mercy that you were chosen and
His grace.
His grace. And they sent you to school, and not just that, they sent you to the US in the 60s. Right?
She's not there.
Okay, Mama Dick sent you to the US in 1965. So one of the sweetest stories, like this is awesome, but one of the stories that just makes me think about God's greatness. So when we moved to the US, we came to Wisconsin, and then we started attending a church, Eastbrook Church, and the senior pastor, Mark Erickson, before Pastor Matt Erickson, when Sister Funke, that's our second born, Catherine, when she first got to church, to Eastbrook Church, and she introduced herself to Pastor Mark mentioned that, I know a Catherine
Dick.
that we used to pray for when I was a
a small boy. He said at his church, they used to, you didn't know that story, that they used to pray for these missionaries. And he said her name was Catherine Dick.
Wow.
I was like, no way. So our senior pastor in Wisconsin, when he was a young man, used to pray for a missionary who was all the way in Nigeria, in Orago, Kwara State, where this my mom was.
Wow.
And the person, Mama Dick, was one that adopted her. Now, without all of us knowing, and without Pastor Mark knowing, because Pastor Mark was not in Wisconsin then, he was in North Dakota or wherever he was. He was in a different state at a different church as a young boy when that was happening. Now, somehow, he comes to Wisconsin and plants a church at Eastbrook Church, and then we all find our way to that same church, and we are serving at the church. I'm like, God, it's just, it's beyond what humans can sit down and plan. Now my brother is the worship pastor of that church. I used to be in the worship, lead worship there at the church, and my sister is serving at the church. And thankful to God on how the way he orchestrates our life in this beautiful symphony. Like, how would we have known that things will happen like this? Another thing that I'm grateful to God for when I think about your life is not just when you were a kid, but even as an adult. It wasn't like you had a plan. Some people's lives are very structured. They'll plan their life. They say, I want to do this, I want to do that. And they will be scheming and fabricating, trying to do many things. But at least as me, I have known you. You just do what comes in front of you. And here you are, 86 years, with your children and your grandchildren, and the Lord continues to bless you, and you are strong. God's mercy is over you. If they said, what was your 10-year plan or 5-year? Some people are living their lives now on plan. They say, I have 5-year plan, I have 10-year plan, I have retirement savings somewhere, so that their old age can be sweet, so that they can be rested in their old age. So people are, the way they are strategizing, they have financial planner, they have all this plan. Me, I've never seen you sit down with any financial planner.
For what?
So, I don't think you have any savings that you put anywhere.
No.
Because as the money comes, you will use it to feed everybody.
It's true.
You will feed all of us and feed people.
You and Daddy.
You and Daddy, you feed the community with your money. Mommy, that's what you did now. You fed people, but see, the Lord has blessed you, and He has blessed your children, so that in your old age you are not lacking anything, because He can take care of you. I'm sure that if people saw you many years ago, they'd be like, that woman doesn't know what she's doing. She's just using all her money to be. They will even think that they are exploiting you. The people that thought they were exploiting you, where are they today? In this day and age, everybody is planning for the future. You are trying to strategize and trying to do things. The wisdom of the world,
It's foolishness.
It's foolishness.
So different.
And so different from God's wisdom. I'm not saying it's not good to plan. No, that's not what I'm saying, But I'm saying that you can have the best plans and life still happens, and all your plan goes down the drain. And it's possible that you are looking at yourself saying, I don't have savings, I don't have plans. And God already has a way to securely keep you and protect you. So she is a testimony of how the Lord can preserve you and protect you and keep you so that in your old age you are still enjoying the goodness of God, that your children surround your table, your children's children surround your table and call you blessed. I cannot finish this without talking about the fact that my mom is very strict. If I don't say it, I would not have done a good interview.
Oh my God.
See this woman, eh? Hi! Jesus! Jesus! All the children that have Nigerian mothers, you know what I'm talking about. And in fact, all my cousins that will watch this thing, they'll be like, hey, this woman is very strict. That is, she does not spare the rod so that the child will not be spoiled. Because they say it's the one that spares the rod that spoils the child. This one, she will not spare the rod. She gave us very well. Thank you.
I never beat you except
I know,
once.
except me.
See, oh my! See, she only beat her once. Me, I cannot count. I can't count. Ah, mommy, I know me. I know me.
Tolu.
I know me that. I'm not a naughty girl, oh. I'm not a naughty girl, but she used to spank me. It's in levels. I have another sister. I will not mention her name. That one, my own is one number. That one is hi. I'm sorry. I'm saying sorry to that my sister now. I'm not just calling her name. But mommy, no. But in that process, when she's disciplining you, you will be like, is she the one that gave birth to me, self? It's just that we look alike. But is she my mother? Is she really my mother? I wrote my mother one time like that. What class was I? Maybe GS1. I wrote her. It wasn't because she spanked me. She spanked my sister. I now wrote her. I said, are you the one that gave birth to my sister? Why are you beating her like that? He said, when I got home, I even thought she would feel bad. He told me like, never ever in my life should I ask her that kind of question again. But what I have learned is that, you know, the heart, even God, the Bible said it. That's how my mom used to spank. Before she spanked you, she will open the Bible. She said, yeah, read it. You now read, the heart of a child is where foolishness is hiding. And we will use spanking, cane, to drive it out. That's the scripture you will read before you get spanked in our house. She has plenty scripture like that. You say, oh yeah, open to Proverbs. That you read the scripture yourself. And I say, okay, I will give you 6 strokes. And it's not easy stroke. In 2025, you know, we will not be spanking like that. But we still have to discipline our children. Even though they may not understand or respect or value the corrections. We don't want to say we would not give them. Because I think that something happened in generations. The generations of my mom, they are the ones that are very disciplined. In Nigeria will beat, not spank. They will beat you. So after their generation, they now, because of the trauma, they can beat you and you'll be traumatized. So the way they beat us and were traumatized, we now got a generation that now decided they will not even correct their children. That is whatever you want, they live. So that has now become an extreme situation again, because now we now have a generation of children that were not corrected properly. We don't want to take things to the extreme. Because you have a parent that spanked you does not mean that there is no benefit in being corrected. You might have the wisdom to do it differently, but it doesn't now mean that I can't talk, because when they talk to me, it broke my heart. I have mental health challenges. I'm not denying that you can have mental health challenges from spanking. You can have it. You can have mental health challenges from spanking, and if you have a parent that was verbally abusive, you could also have mental health challenges too. I'm grateful to God for keeping mommy, and you were not just a mom to 6 of us. You were and you are still a mom to many people. Many people that are not related by blood. We are not relatives. but they call you mommy. And they will, when they think about who stood up for them, they will say, Iya Ibitoye stood up for me, even when other people could not stand up for me. And the thing that is humbling is that you are still doing it. You have not stopped. As you are now, you are still standing up for many people. In fact, the other day, some months ago, this my 86-year-old mother, she said she wants to go and work. She wants to work. She wants to find work in America. Why? She wants to be sending money home to Nigeria. That's why she wants to work home. Not for herself, but so that she can be sending money. You say people are suffering at home. People are suffering at home. So she wants to work so that she can send money home. So she has a heart of gold. And I have experienced favor because of what you have done, because of the seeds that you have sown, because of the seeds that Daddy has sown. We, your children, we have gone to places where we did not know anybody, and people stood up to favor us. And we can all testify it, that, favor passes from generation to generation because of seeds that are sown.